DIY.
DIY is welcome. This is crazy. I tell you, not even a few months ago, we were reacting to a freestyle by this gentleman. Somehow, some way, the universe done brought folks together, and here we are. As a matter of fact, we even saw each other at an event, but man, without further ado, Mick Jenkins in the building. Mick Jenkins in the building.
Much love, man. Appreciate you, man.
Come on, man.
Oh,
I'm not gonna leave you hanging.
oh yeah, we good. I was like, wait, what was that? All right, cool.
I was trying to get the mic. Yeah, the mic is in a different situation. First of all, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't complain at all. It's busy, but again, can't complain.
Yeah. Yeah, in studio. Would you? We're not doing. We can't stream y'all at the session like that. Look at
I preferred to pull up because when you said you was in Cali, I was like, oh, I'll pull up, right? And like, make it easy, make it a real politic and real fellowship. You feel me?
I appreciate that. Yeah. I do, because even on the day that we listened to your full project, you know, I was just hitting you on some, like, I didn't know how it worked in terms of if I would have any content ID issues trying to play the full project, and you was like, nah, bro, you good. Just
so when you put it up, I instantly sent the text to the gang like, can we make sure that this does not get flagged?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good.
And it's the project that y'all just heard. Phenomenal project, bro. I remember just sitting here and I'm like, Publix was already my first introduction to it. And just to be transparent, I didn't know when it actually had dropped until I was looking for the song, and I'm looking all over streaming, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Because I had it in my mind. I was going to clean up. Like, you know, when I get into my little cleanup, people who don't know about me, like when I'll find shit to clean up so I can listen to music longer. That's the kind of person I am. So I'm looking for this song because I know I'm about to play it a million damn times, and then it's not on streaming. Oh, and the only place I find it is on Even. What kind of went into the decision? Because the whole project is not on there. What kind of went into that decision?
Really just evaluating what I wanted to do. Right. My independence. I was signed to Cinematic for most of my career, and I would say that was kind of the worst version of my experience in rap industry as far as a deal.
Right.
And I would say BMG would be my best experience. Now I've only had two. I've only been signed to two different labels. But, you know, being next to a lot of other people signed and talking to other people about their experiences and then learning the game and understanding what's a good contract, what's a bad contract, what you kind of want to have ownership over and the way you would want things to be over the years, I understood that I was in a great situation with BMG, and it was only verified by how they delivered for the patients and treated me as an artist. So, you know, but I needed both of those experiences to know it really don't make no sense to be signed in 2025 with my goals, right, and with what I needed 10 years in. You know what I'm saying? I think if I was a brand new artist, there were ways that I would play it or manipulate it to my favor if I knew everything I knew now. But I think you don't get 10 years of experience out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is not a feasible reality. You know what I'm saying? So looking at what I would do next, I was like, well, I've never tried to do it myself. You know, I was fresh off a deal, and I knew it didn't make sense to sign the same type of deal, even though the project was doing well. I wasn't making a ton of money yet. So I was like, man, you know how we can know we make money right away is selling it ourselves. And so it became a conversation, something that we would explore. Watching LaRussell was super inspiring.
Shout out to LaRussell, yeah.
I think shout out to him, especially because he will tell you the stats. You know, I heard a clip of him talking about how much money he made in a month, and I was like, I'm sorry?
Right.
I'm sorry, you did what now? And so that was my first, thing to even think about Even. You feel me? And so, again, the conversation continues to happen. We start talking to people over at Even. What would this look like? How would we do it? We would get back to them a couple months later and say we want to do it. But even then, I'm still just kind of exploring options.
Oh, you saw that pitch deck, huh? I just thought about that right now.
I saw
that pitch deck too.
Even then, I'm still exploring options. You feel me? Like, what actually happened was I'm going to keep it a being.
Okay.
Which I have no problem doing. Like, I'm.
Yeah, I got to say that since you've been here and we've been chopping it up and I've been trying to set everything up, but we've been like really catching up to where he's at this stage. Bro has been very transparent about every step of the process. And I'm like, I don't want to put any kind of trade secrets or anything out there like that. But I was like, man, there's so many things that you're saying. But yeah, your transparency is something I think is dope because Bro, it's a certain type of freedom that I can hear in the voice of an artist that is either newly independent or that is taking full advantage of their independence that I hear in what you've been talking.
That's exactly what it is. I think I don't feel newly independent. I feel like, especially when I was with Cinematic, I was kind of detached from the label. Like I also wasn't trying to incur more debt. So I was just kind of paying for everything myself anyway. You know what I'm saying? So for a long time, I felt independent. I just like being able to stamp it with like what it actually means on the back end now, and not just the fact that I was coming out of my pocket.
Got it.
But so I'm sitting December of last year and I'm like, yo, we don't really got money on the books till April. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, I need to do something. And so obviously for me, first things first is always music. That's what the fans want, So I was like, all right, well, this is where we could try out EVEN. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity, perfect excuse to try out EVEN, right? I was telling you, I got a bunch of projects ready to go, but I didn't want to rush anything that I had spent so much time on. For the fans, yes,
right.
Heard that right. I do have a bunch of projects ready to go, but I didn't want to rush any of them just for the sake of making money. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, well, this project I got with Emil, we didn't put too much time in it, just kind of rush it out for January. This project I got with Ambi, we not even done yet, and I don't want to rush it out for January. Same thing, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, well, shit, what I can do, I got free time. As a matter of fact, I was in the studio so much, I was frustrated because I didn't understand why nobody was hitting me back.
What you mean?
And then I realized, I'm like, oh shit, it's December 22nd. It is the week of Christmas. Like, of course niggas ain't hitting me back right now. You know what I'm saying? But I was just in the studio every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right. It's like, y'all doing that thing y'all do during the holidays, huh? Okay.
Type shit. I'm like, oh, all right. And then you hear the lingo right now. It's just like, oh, type shit. That's like niggas on. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, shit. YouTube is always there. YouTube has always been there for me. You feel me? For the same type of thing, for crate digging. You know what I'm saying? For a sense. So I just started doing that. And shout out Docent. I came across Docent on YouTube.
This is a crazy story. I was reading the bio inside the actual EVEN about how you that discovery process. I'm officially getting into that right now, but it's insane because that's a 2025 story or 2024 type of story.
I feel like it's but it's a 2011 story too. You know what I'm saying? That's how I made my first project, was messing with.
You did the same thing.
Eric Lau on YouTube. And After One and you know what I'm saying?
After One, that's my favorites.
Like, just like lo-fi producers from back in the day. I don't know if they still making music now, but this is what I was tapped into then. And ripping beats off YouTube and just using them because I had nowhere else to get them from, especially back then. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, let me just go look on YouTube. And shout out Docent. I came across Docent. I bought one beat from him. By the time I bought the second beat, he emailed me back like, yo, is this
the real deal?
Fake? And then he said he sent me a batch. He sent me a batch of I didn't buy them all right there, but we made a deal for me to buy the rest of the beats. I recorded them before Christmas. I told you I started this on the 22nd. I recorded them before Christmas. Hit up my engineer on Christmas, like, yo, if I send you a bunch of stuff tomorrow to get mixed before the 1st, you think you would knock that out? What you need? He's like, oh, I need this much. I was like, I'll give you $500 more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knocked that out for me. By the 1st, he was done. And then on the 1st, me and my manager talking like, yo, all right, this is what we'll try EVEN with. We'll see how it plays. So for me, EVEN has been very good, especially because there was no promo. There was no rollout. There was no plan. We just made the project really fast. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the studio. I told you I work fast anyway. That's not an issue for me to crank out 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 songs. That's not
But
the thing.
Hearing you say that and knowing the nature of your writing, your writing is very multi-layered, bro. Like I get one experience listening, I get another experience reading, and then even when I'm reading, I do it during these videos, I'll come back and I'll be like, how the hell I missed this? And the whole thing was a setup for this.
Is why I'm very confident in who I am as an artist. Because before anything, I'm a writer, and you're not going to find many people who can write like I can. Period. And it comes from reading, and it comes from writing, and it comes from knowing poetic and literary devices, and it comes from studying other amazing writers, and it comes from a certain amount of attention being paid to life and how it relates. And I think you need knowledge of certain concepts and certain experiences and thoughts and emotions to even be able to put a concept or thought or a story in the frame of writing that I do. It's a lot more than just being good.
Yeah.
Like,
when you're talking about reading, are you talking about mostly nonfiction or fiction, or is it a combination of both?
I don't think it matters. I think as long as there's reading, I think as long as there is what's it called? Like a variety. As long as there's a variety, I think then your writing is going to develop in all the areas that are affected by your reading.
Right.
I think if you read something that's a little too specific or it's a little bit of a certain type of in a tone, then I think it can, you might hit a wall.
There be certain books that it look promising on Audible, and I'm like, oh man, this is exactly what I need. And when it's
I even mean more like a specific author, even just like if you the same way if you listen to a certain type of music, the way that influences you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it's going to influence you or how it's going to influence me. But if you're just listening to disco, then it's going to limit the full range of what listening to a full range of music could do to inspire you. Right. So same thing, writing and reading. You know what I'm saying? If you only read a specific author, then how that expands your writing is going to be a lot more limited than if you were to read different types of writing type. So I think it doesn't matter as long as there's variety in what you're reading. Sure.
For somebody, and I probably should have started with this, but for somebody who doesn't know Mick Jenkins, first of all, come on, get on your shit. For somebody who doesn't know Mick Jenkins, who is Mick Jenkins in his own words?
I'm gonna just give you exactly what I thought. I thought I'm a married man first, then I was like, oh no, you're supposed to be a God-fearing man first.
Hey, wait. You know how many times I got in trouble not saying them? I'm like, damn. I did all the right things and I didn't say them. I said, baby, no.
Like, nah,
but I had my ring on, baby. Like, but go ahead, I'll hear you.
Nah, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm God fearing and I'm a husband, and I'm an artist. I'm trying to be better at all three. That's really where I'm at with it. You want
to hear what ChatGPT said about you? I want to confirm this.
Wow.
You ready for that? I like this.
Not ready for that.
It's my new favorite game, by the way.
AI evaluation, not ready.
It says, Mick Jenkins is a critically acclaimed rapper, poet, and independent artist from Chicago, known for his lyrical depth, conceptual storytelling, and genre-defying projects. From The Waters to Pieces of a Man, his music blends introspection, faith, philosophy, and raw honesty.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Hey, ChatGPT on it, cook it.
Genre defying is wild, but well.
It goes on to say, now fully independent, Mick has released his latest EP, Type Shit, exclusively through EVEN, a direct-to-consumer platform that allows fans to support and access his music without relying on traditional streaming services. In this interview, we explore his journey towards independence, the meaning behind Type Shit, and now he's redefining success on his own terms. I need you to get out of my head, ChatGPT, but that's kind of crazy. I'm like, don't do my job for me. But man, yeah. So I do want to get more into this independence, and first of all, let me shout out to EVEN, man. You guys know that I released a project on EVEN, Storm Symphony, and it was my first direct to consumer project since I was really waving a flag of we got to figure out other ways to generate income as independent artists. Did a lot of content, and it got their attention, and we decided to partner up on this project. And it did really, really well. And so, obviously I've interviewed Russell at the Pergola, and that was a great experience. And so those fine people over there are actually sponsoring today's episode of Flocation. First of what I hope to be many, but yeah, shout out to EVEN, shout out to Mag, shout out to Earl and everybody else that's been helping to coordinate this. Why EVEN for you?
Like I said, I think just I truly shout out to Russell. I was watching, looking at the gram and seeing everything he was saying and doing, and I was just like inspired. And I was more inspired to kind of take that step out independently, right? I think I was just kind of, the biggest thing that I saw from him was fan support. And it was just like, if you got that kind of support, nobody can say anything to you. And I understand that I do have that kind of support from my fans. Out of all the ways that I felt like I've come up short over the last 10 years. That's definitely not somewhere where I've come up short. The fans that are with me are riding with me. A lot of them been there for a long time, and the new ones are ready for the ride. So that's a great place to be, and I attribute that to the quality of the music. And so,
man,
noticing that with LaRussell was like, all right, well, if he's got that same kind of bag, then maybe I need to be looking at the things that he's looking at as well. So then we start looking at Even. Again, we talked to Even. There was a conversation. Now we in December and we ain't got money on the books till April. And I'm like, let me do this. So I get that project together, you know what I'm saying, and drop it just to see what Even does, and it does amazing. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my fans. You know, I get a lot of support. I think the greatest thing about it is I told you I don't even think half of my fans know that I've dropped a. It's the craziest part. That's the other side of independence. Is like you got to work harder on the marketing end. Your stuff's not playlisting. It's not in the usual places where it pops up to let people know, oh, I got to go check out that new Mick Jenkins, right?
Yeah.
Which is okay, because when you have people supporting you and you're getting 100% of that support monetarily, it feels different. And
hold on, before you in that point, come on, before you in that point, I got to push the button. Run that back one more time.
I think when you have this type of support, or real support, I should say, and people willing to show up and for you, even though there are smaller numbers, getting 100% of that financially, of that support, it's hitting you way different than streaming could ever do for you. You feel me? So I think 10 years in, that trade-off is fine for me. You know, I think if I was just starting out, I'd probably have a different perspective, but I'm not just starting out. And I have a very established fan base. And so Even is a perfect type of place to help me support that as I turn my attention to my fans that I already have, as opposed to looking to acquire new fans. And I think that's always something that you're coached to look for, which is growth.
Right.
But I think sometimes when you turn around and look back at what you've amassed, you know, however big or small that number is, there's a lot of engagement that can go on there that can be beneficial for both sides, you know, and that's where my attention is turned now. And Even is the perfect vehicle for that. It just allowed me to kind of move the way I want to move. Simple as that. I told you there's some not interface, but you know, they offer, you know, intros for albums and what is it called? Activations, the access points for me and my fans to cross hairs at it and get in touch with each other. And I haven't even activated all of those things yet. I think there's a lot of things that Even comes to the table with that can help accentuate what an established artist is doing. And so, again, that was a trial run. Let's see what happens. You know, I think the next time we come out, no matter what, we'll have a concerted rollout. You know what I'm saying? Some warning.
Yeah.
I know I'm not Beyonce. I can't just drop in the middle of the night.
Sometimes you want to test it out though. Sometimes you just want to see, like,
and so
let me see what he might do if I just did it.
And it was a good practice run. See how it goes. See what's going on. And even shout out Earl. I don't got nothing but good things to say. You know. Yeah.
Can I ask you a specific question? Because you did mention, you know, had you been an artist that didn't have, I guess, the following, and had you not have the experience, if you were an artist starting today, but you at least have the knowledge, like say you were your own OG to a younger you that was starting today, would you direct that artist to set themselves up to do direct to consumer first? Or would you say go through the streaming journey and then amass a fan base and then kind of go there? Because I'm kind of on the fence at times giving people that advice.
A new artist, I would say no matter what you do, you need to be focusing on acquiring fans. And the best way to do that is to do things that give you the widest reach. You can't go to direct to consumer. You ain't got no consumer. If we really want to get into it, how rapid is your growth? If you're focused on making money when you first start out, then you got to be focused on rapid growth, Russell, because it will not sustain. And your focus on rapid growth does nothing for how fast you're going to grow. You put all your focus on that, and it does not guarantee anything for how fast you're going to grow. So I think starting out, no matter what, the first thing that an artist should be focused on is connecting with people, getting fans. And I think there's a few different ways to do that. I think if you are going direct to consumer, it's imperative that you do that, right? And if you're streaming, it's still imperative that you do that because you're starting out. You're not about to make a lot of money streaming, and you're not about to make a lot of money going direct to consumer because you're starting out. So if making money is your focus when you're starting out, I think you're starting.
You're already starting wrong. Okay, I like to that point. I'm 1,000% with you. The analogy that I came up with, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, is when I'm talking to an artist, I'm like, imagine you're a new pizza shop on the corner of whatever street. You don't have customers in the beginning that even know the quality of your pizza. That's why you have a grand opening. That's why
I would say that's even different because you can have customers in the beginning. I could sell pizza out my crib to my friends until they talk enough that people who are just my associates start paying attention. There's some shit going off the gram right now in LA called Secret Pizza. I don't know where this nigga makes the pizza.
Secret Pizza is crazy.
He drops a different address every month. And people line up at that, or it might be the same address. I'm a little ignorant, but no matter what, he drops the time and location one weekend out the month, and people pull up for this pizza, and this pizza is supposed to be amazing. Listen to me. I ain't never had it. Listen to me, though. I ain't never had it, but I heard about it. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like there's a lot of things you can do marketing to develop a following for food.
True.
Without having a brick and mortar, without opening. But music is a very different thing.
Different product too. Yeah,
you can compare it to most of the time.
Because pizza, I'm such a pizza fan. I eat at a pizza place that got bad reviews from Yelp just because I love pizza so much.
I eat at a pizza place if the pizza look right when I walk by.
That sounds like me in New York. That when I first went to New York, I was like, I don't even know if this the best.
Judge your pizza by how it look, and I'm not. I don't need to judge if it's the best.
Right.
I gotta know it's not trash.
Yeah,
based off how it look, and I don't know if it's trash. I done got duped before.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
The rule of thumb for pizza is pretty straightforward. It's 3 ingredients for most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So
not to get too deep into a pizza conversation, but I feel like that about DiGiorno. I feel like they didn't bamboozle me for a lot of times, and I keep falling for it. Every time I look at the design, the font, I'm like, yeah, and that shit looks crazy.
That's right.
And then I eat it, and I'm like, I don't know where the dough starts and the cheese ends.
The crust don't really hit right.
It don't.
It's not.
Speaking of which, though, so I want to get back to your writing, though, because that was one thing, especially when we first met at the will.i.am event in L.A. That was something that you said specifically that stood out about this platform is our emphasis on making sure that the lyrics stay in the forefront, making sure that, all the clickbait and all the stories that are outside of the actual craft of making music stay as the center focus. I mean, me as an artist and a producer, which, obviously we're going to cook up today, but that's always been something where I'm like, I understand why a lot of artists don't want to do interviews. I understand why they don't, they're very, very selective about that. What's kind of your point of view in terms of the way that media has shifted? Because, I hate to say it, but long gone are the days of the rap cities where you could have a fire conversation, barbershop conversation, and then jump in the booth with the actual host. What's up, Papa? How you doing, Sabra? How you doing, Bob? Say hi. Say hi. You look at the camera. You such a head.
What's going on, man?
Give him pound. Give him pound.
Yes, sir. Let me get some love. It's May. Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, actually, I need to text my wife in a minute, but
no, you good. I got your question.
Yeah. So what is your viewpoint in terms of how this is working out in terms of media? Because a lot of media has focused on like the low hanging fruit.
I'm frustrated. I mean, I've rapped it. I definitely rapped it on the Patience. I'm frustrated with hip hop media, especially because I respected different sects of hip hop media for sure. I was telling you, especially written journalism,
right?
Because that's not as important to I don't know where written journalism fell off, actually. I don't know if it was fans not paying enough attention.
Well, some Frank disappeared too, right?
Yeah, but that's, it's money, right? But it's like, why were we losing money on print? I don't know. People just stopped reading for hip hop media. Let's say that for sure. The less people reading, the less good writers are going to be writing in that space because they ain't making no money doing that. You know what I'm saying? And so then the quality falls across the board. I think once the written quality, in my opinion, because there were places that I went, I read Wax Poetics. You feel me? Like I read a couple different publications. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
For hip hop journalism, and so Once that was gone, then obviously we turned to the visual aspect or podcasting, right? Because that's what was left to do. The most popular podcast for hip hop media, while I have my opinions on each of them, I feel that none of them really get into the music and the process and the producers and the process and then at all, really.
Which is why we care to begin with.
Yeah, like he said, I understand like entertainment. I don't expect that to dominate the conversation, right? The same way we're not actually talking about the art of the basketball dominating basketball conversation. You understand what I'm saying? Which is
political
what makes
affiliation.
your point. Which is what made the JJ Redick and LeBron thing so powerful. JJ Redick and LeBron was really in there talking about pick and roll,
X's and O's in a way that you can never hear Stephen A. say.
Yeah, and it's just like, and it is that as beautiful as that was, as beautiful as the comment section on that was. You feel me?
Bunch of head coaches.
That's not going to dominate in media. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have that expectation in hip hop, but I don't hear it at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. When I hear people talk about, we could go from the biggest podcast. Let's go to reviewers. You know what I'm saying? It's like Anthony Fantano as an example. I hear people like him and him. I'll say him. You can go reference this because this is somewhere I was kind of disappointed to hear. He reviewed Jiz's album, I think it was last year or the year before last.
Right.
And in that, I hear things like that of like, we're reviewing the music based on what we expected from you and not based on what you had to give me, you know, and I gave it to you off camera. I was like, that's like you sitting down at a notable chef and being frustrated before you take a bite that there's not something that you expected to be on the plate. Like, oh man, y'all ain't got no beef ribs. It's like, well, no, brother, that's not what I made for you, you know. But because I ain't got no ribs on the plate, now you're gonna talk about how the plate isn't what you expected it to be. It's like I wasn't giving you what you expected,
Brother
I was
Mick.
giving you what I wanted to give you.
You ain't got to censor yourself. Say what you said off camera. Say what you said off camera when you.
Wait, what did I say?
You said, "Bitch, it ain't no beef
Oh,
broccoli."
yeah. I said, bitch, it ain't no fucking ribs. Like, y'all, what? Did you fucking try the meal yet, nigga? Like, what? You go, a notable chef. Let me see what Chef Jenkins is cooking up today. Walk in. You're just in time. I'm revealing my meal of the season. You feel me? Like, that's my album, my meal of the season, my plate of the season. Motherfucker, look at my plate like, what? No chicken? Did go to the podcast. It's like, well, I'm reviewing Mick Jenkins' plate today. The problem, sadly, it didn't have any chicken on it. It's just like, what the hell does it have to do with what I served you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that couldn't be more accurate. I promise you. That's why I need the uncensored version, because when you said that, it had me in tears. Because I'm like, people really do, and like shout out to Anthony, because at least what I get from him, what I appreciate is there's sometimes things I learn about my favorite artists that maybe I didn't see in a moment, right? At least he's somebody in his space that he has his own style of doing things. It's more so the guy, the person that's no credentials, no professional anything. It's just the guy.
Stamping Fantano.
You stamping that one? Okay.
I'm including. This is what I'm talking. I don't watch him all the time. Am I accusing him of doing that all the time? No, that's why I went to a specific video. I watched that and I said, I wish he would have looked at this from a different perspective. And again, I'm not trying to bash him. I truly wish he would have looked at it from a different perspective, because what someone is trying to deliver you sometimes matter more than a certain quality that you expect. You will miss what somebody is trying to do by looking at it by what you're expecting to hear from them, evaluating what the album should sound like or the quality of the album based on metrics, because this is what a lot of people do that have nothing to do with actual creation of music.
You've never made it. You've never tried to make it. And yet you're telling somebody else how to make it.
Understand why you evaluated it from that. Right. But I also understand as an artist that has no place in forming your opinion about what someone presented to you. You know what I'm saying? And I hear that in the way that people speak. You don't speak like, oh, I tasted this plate and I'm evaluating what I'm tasting for what I was presented. I evaluate lasagnas against other lasagnas. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
that's not what I. That's not what I.
Or if I am evaluating a lasagna against a fucking green pea soup, right? right? I don't say that the green pea soup is trash because I love lasagna. Like, that's the way that reviews do, right? That's not how you speak about these two separate things, even if you're going to compare them, right? You give respect to what one dish is and respect to what the other dish is, even if this dish is your favorite, and you was always going to talk about this dish better than that dish because this is your favorite. Okay, but there's a way to speak about that gives respect to both, and that's not what I regularly hear when people review albums, even if it's a positive review.
Yeah.
There's a way that we speak about music that kind of removes what artists are actually doing.
Yeah. Well,
right, like that album, which is why I said Mr. Morale, I say the same way. I wouldn't even say this about reviewers. A lot of people didn't receive Mr. Morale Kendrick shit for what he was actually trying to give you. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the same thing I felt from Jid for that last album. I'm sorry I can't remember the name, but he was telling us a story, a personal story, and I was a fan of it because he opened up. As a fan of Jid, he opened up to tell us a story in a way that I hadn't heard in Speed's music. And it's a shame that when I heard a reviewer, nobody talked about that.
Yeah.
Like, damn, we're not going to talk about how this nigga is opening up in a way that he hasn't previously opened up in his music as far as a body of work. Oh, no, we're going to talk about our expectations. We're going to talk about what we didn't hear, what we would have wanted to hear, like, and not what we would. And so I hear that thread of how I speak about the music in a lot of reviews. And that's just something that is just like, man, I wish we thought about this differently. Receive it and talk about what you received. Too much of what you expected, too much of what you would have wished, too much of what you desire is in the evaluation.
Right. You said it. You said more than a word there. This buddy gonna get pushed a whole lot today, huh? That's what we gonna do today. Look, see, I feel like it is twofold though, right? Because I do feel like artists like you are the 1 percentile, 2 percentile, right? That exists in this space, in my opinion, at least, in terms of the attention to detail, the emphasis on quality over just quantity, even though you produce an amazing amount of quantity. I do think there was an era of artists that prioritized making music that would appease the playlisters, appease the fans in a certain way, or appease the consumer. And it feels like that kind of possibly added to the entitlement that some of the folks have when they're reviewing or when they're doing these things, where it feels like, well, this is not, if you're making this for me, well, this is why I don't like this, and this. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm getting at? Yeah.
I'm absolutely 100%. I can't argue with that at all. I think that's out. I mean, that's more than obviously. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not expecting this to dominate the airwaves. I just don't hear it at all. And that's really what's sad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if there was a place where I know I could go, then I wouldn't have this complaint. And I think that's why I like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I love what you're doing because I feel like, yo, beyond my likes and my desires for what I want to see in hip-hop media, it'll be good for hip-hop media. It'll be good for these young niggas. It'll be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you going? What power will your voice hold a year from now, 2 years from now? Feel me? Versus, you know, where it was 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago. You feel me? So that I look at people like you and be like, oh, I would love if somebody like that,
I appreciate
ascended to holding a certain space. You feel me? Like, because I could trust somebody like that. I want to go talk to somebody like that. I can, you know what I'm saying? And then you tell me the other people that you got coming in here, and that verifies exactly what I feel. It's like, oh, that nigga want to come talk to you too? That'll surprise me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'll surprise me. So
I've been told them I bamboozled them. Like, Mick, I've been told the audience, I said, yo, probably came here because of the battle. That's cool. I'm putting the vitamin in the brownie though, and you're gonna have to take the whole brownie and just enjoy that. Like, I'm here to talk hip hop. I'm here to talk lyricism. I'm here to talk to the most elite writers that I can talk to, because if it wasn't for YouTube, I'd be doing this anyways. Because I just have a passion for listening to things that make me say, how did you do that? Right? Or what was your mindset? What was your approach? One thing I can say from the first time I heard you was the Waters Project to now is that you've always written from like a very like a cinematic narrative, in that I feel like I'm seeing what you're writing as opposed to just listening to what you're saying.
Appreciate it.
But I feel like now you got to a place in this project What was the one? What was the last project you did before that one? Where it was? Say it again. Patience, right? That was a Patience. Okay, that's what I was listening to today. I can see a very obvious shift in the way that you're writing, and it feels like with maturity, with just the general evolution that we go through as artists, there's a level of clarity, bro. Even when I'm listening to Publix, I was like, oh, he just said it. You just said it. You said the thing. Like, sometimes you get into your alliteration, you get into these bags where you'll go into these 4-bar and you'll get really, really deep into the weeds of the wordplay. This one, you said, nigga, this is what I had on my mind today. And you still got off, which is what I'm like, what was the mindset in terms of your approach as just purely a writer in this project?
In this project, especially because it was coming so fast, and I think that's what a big part of what the truth comes from, right? Let me type shit. That's the whole idea is like somebody say something you agree with, and things be like type shit.
Type shit.
And it's usually, to me, not always, but it's usually something you would shake your head at. Okay. Like, so niggas doing that type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's where I felt like, what's the first song? Why it take you so long to put your fucking type shit?
Yeah.
I tell you that, niggas understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Publix, bitch got me fucked up for real. It's type shit, bro. I got the ease, type. And I felt like, okay, cool. I can play with that angle on the songs because it was the YouTube type beats that really inspired the title. It was just like, all right, well, if I'm about to run with these type beats, I could call it type shit. And then I was like, all right, well then where do you come from with the music then? If you call it type shit, where does that settle for what people should expect from the music, or where they make it connect or make sense?
Right.
And so that's what it was for me. So then from that point, it was just like, all right, let me just say, I think that's what music is anyway, is an expression of emotions. Okay. We're telling stories, we're expressing emotions, we're expressing ideas. And when you have an idea or an emotion that people can readily tap into because of their own experiences, that's just going to feel better in whatever story you're telling. And it's those kinds of details that make it feel personal for people that you never met. You understand what I'm saying? And so a lot of times what I've learned is what that requires you to do is strip it back. Like, what are you actually trying to say?
Yeah.
What are you actually, oh my God, that should probably be on your chorus.
Right.
In some way, shape, or form. Does it always fit that way? No. But yeah, and so that's where the songs come from here, and that's where the writing comes from here. It's just like, all right, if I am trying to get this out before Christmas, because this is where I was at, like, get out of me, not out into the world, but if I am trying to get this done before Christmas, then I don't need to spend too much time, hibbly who rapping circus, right? Like, but all this shit that I can spend time doing, because I can spend a lot of time
just doing that. Yeah.
Like, okay, I was on stream the other day. Make sure y'all follow my stream, Mick Jenkins on air. I was on stream the other day in the studio, and I was telling niggas, I'm like, yeah, I'm word banking right now. I'll start a song, I'll write 2 lines, and a bunch of words will hit my mind, and I'm like, okay, I know I want to use these words, but I don't know how. So I'm just gonna write them at the bottom of the page. You feel me? And as I continue to write lines, opportunity for me to use the words comes up now. You understand what I'm saying?
So you still physically write. You're not really typing into the phone?
No, I'm typing in the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, but
because I feel like I mean, not to be a purist in that, but like there's a part of me that does long for that at times, where I love the convenience of being able to, like, there's an app called Rhymer's Block that shows you like the inner rhyme schemes and what you're doing. Visually, I like to see that, but there's a part of me that always loves to, like, get my little mechanical pencil and just write out rhyme schemes.
Waste of time.
Waste of time. Stop being a dinosaur, Curtis. Don't do it.
Waste of time. Hey, I got the iPad. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had the urge. I'm in a meeting at BMG. Yeah, and at my girl Kaylin. Shout out Kaylin at BMG. She did the YouTube stuff. I'm like, is she writing her notes on me? She was writing, and I'm watching the notes go from her handwriting to computer type. And I'm like, to Times New Roman. I'm like, right. Need it. Get the iPad. I'm finna start writing my bars there. Man, it takes so much time. Like, I'm wasting time. Like, I could just do this so much faster. So, yeah, nah. I got the urge. I feel you. But once you start doing it, you realize, man, why am I doing this? Yeah, like,
who said that? Who said, how old are you again, Curtis? Don't disrespect me like that. Don't ever disrespect. How old are you again, Curtis? First of all, back in my day, We never. I'm just playing. Tight shit. Yeah. Well, see, I mean, there is. I think. Then I have to understand the value of that is not efficiency. The value of that is literally just the nostalgia.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, shout out to my guy Maestro, another elite lyricist and pen, but he doesn't write. And I started experimenting with that. In that, because I do these live streams called Flocation, there have been times where I just kind of sit up here, let the beat play, and get 4 bars at a time, and I'm like, there's a certain freedom that I feel like exists that the restriction of the pen for me doesn't feel like.
Yeah. No, I cannot do that. I respect.
Really? Yeah.
I won't say I can't. I will be uncomfortable doing it the entire time. And if I'm uncomfortable, now my writing is being affected because I'm like actually uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. No, you hear it. The way I put lines together, it's just like, nah, I gotta think about this. Like, nah, I can't do all of that in my head. I need to look at this. I'm visual anyway.
Yeah.
I'm definitely visual. I'm a visual learner. You could give me a book or you could give me an instructional. I'm watching an instructional video. Then
especially putting something together. Don't give me no IKEA. Yo, man, looking at no IKEA instruction.
Would rather read the instructions from IKEA.
Oh,
we was putting together. I got 3 of the same dresser. We putting the dresser together. I'm watching the video. She like, give me the book. I'm like, what I could just put the video on the projector. We could watch it together. Like, she like, nah, I need the book. I'm like, you're weird. So I'm visual all the way down. So that works for me. You feel me? Like that shit works for me.
No, you and I are very much the same in that. I definitely was a visual learner coming up because I look at the instructions and as soon as the words stop and they just do like this.
And give you an arrow.
The picture like this?
Yeah. Like, yeah, bro, what you want me to do with this?
What the hell does that even mean? And how do I know what side of the metal that is? Like,
Tell me what to do. Tell me what to
Show me. So let me ask you a very specific question. This is just honestly writer to writer because there's certain moments where a line will come to me or, where I'm not going in there with the intention of creating a double entendre, but then I'll look at it and one of the kind of the critiques that I give when I do music reviews is don't be a slave to the rhyme word, right? Especially for younger writers where they'll let the rhyming words literally dictate the story and then they're left with not a lot of content in what they're doing. For somebody that is able, and I know this is putting in reps, but kind of what is your mindset when you're coming across these moments? Are you looking for what this could possibly mean in multiple ways? Or do you kind of just land there because of the way that you set it up? Like
And that's what I was saying. I was like, visually, I need to look at it, right? Because I can write linear, right? Just whatever's next line. But that, I would say I'm doing that like 20% of the time. I'll say another 60% of the time, we at 80% right now. 60% of the time, I'm word banking. And we're just putting bank words at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, like you just said, I'll get my first line and that could go 4 different directions immediately.
Right.
I get my first line and I could take it some like 4 different places. So it's just like, do I want to take it all of those places? Okay, place 1, place 2, place 3. I don't want to take it any of those places. But the word,
yeah,
I might take a word from the line that I could have possibly said.
What kind of word are we talking about? Are we talking about like?
It doesn't matter. It's okay. Let me say what. World Series is on your hat, right? I just played. Let's just keep it simple. I just played in the World Series. Hear ye is the first thing that came in my mind. Like off series. That's a bad line. That's a bad rhyme. Hear ye. Whatever line I would do to rhyme hear ye with series is not going to be fire. I instantly know that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I dismissed that. I just dismissed that. Yeah. Clearly, that's a better one. Series, clearly. Near me, right? Near me, clearly. Series. But now my mind is going, okay, but you don't got no hard rhyme. Those are all like kind of rhyme. Series.
Yeah. What's
ending with ease? Rees. And this is what I do. Oh, Riesling. That's where Mick Jenkins lyricism comes in.
Right.
Because you're looking for Rees at the end.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, I'm going to fuck them up. I'm a end the bar, right. So you hear Rees at the end of the bar, but it's going to go right into Riesling.
That's brilliant.
And start my next bar. You feel me? Like, that's how I end up doing it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, that's how my lines will sew into each other. You're talking about double entendre, but in the same way, it's like I'm trying to piece this thing together. So sometimes the double entendre was thought of initially. Sometimes a word fits in a spot from the bank that I'm like, oh shit, I could make that mean two things if I go in this direction next. You feel me? Like, or then I ask myself, is it worth making it mean two things by going in that direction?
Yeah.
Or should you stay on topic? Or damn, it's gonna stay on topic if I go in that direction. Fuck it, we be good. Let's keep going. So it's constant evaluation while I'm writing. Does it make sense to go this way? Does it make sense to go that way? Which is why I can't just give you 4 bars, give you another 4 bars. Like I don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So it's just, I could, but I'd be forcing myself to do something that's unnatural. That while it would probably produce something dope, I ain't doing. I would do it because Curtis King challenged me to do it.
And you're a
not
writer.
because I'm just trying to write shit. That's not how I write.
And this is why I remind people, like, this treat it like an art form, because it is an art form, and these are writers. I'm grateful to have known some of the people that I listened to today, and here's another one that I get to meet today. Some of the greatest writers that I have heard, not just rappers, the greatest writers, because when I think of the amount of obstacles that come with this that are muscle memory to you, staying in a pocket, having a pocket that's interesting, having a pocket that moves with the music, and then also too getting to the point where it's not so wordy that it slows the instrumental down. Like, there's so many different elements that I think the average consumer, when they get it, they're just like, like you said, they're looking at the plate like, where's the chicken at? And it's like, nigga, do you know how many steps? And today you'll get an opportunity just to see an idea of that, because what y'all don't know. Now I talked about that. I'm trying to put my hat in the whole situation, the whole race. I'm trying to get an EP down with him. He don't know that. But you know, it's like he here, we interviewing, we talking all that. He don't know, like, it's kind of like an audition. I got to make sure I've got to have my best foot forward.
I told him to send the fire, man.
I'm gonna send the fire. That's not even, you know what I'm saying? Like that being said, though, so for those that are here, I want y'all to think about this next time you go to the project. And I love that you say that. Like, as much as, yes, you're a listener with the right, especially if you're having to, like, shell out, $10, $15, $20 for a project, you have every right to say, well, if I don't like it, I don't want to pay for it. I get that. However, never forget that it was not made for it to solely appease you. It was made because it was art, and it was art from someone who is performing at the highest level that they can. This is where they're at in life. Why not respect at least that they're being honest to where they're at creatively and telling the stories that are authentic to this space and where they're at? This is a gift. And if you receive it like a gift, why not look for the things you appreciate first within the things you don't like, right?
Couldn't have said it better.
Come on. So
that was beautiful. Hey, man, hit a button. If I had a button, I would hit a button on that one, man.
Tight shit. Tight shit. I love it. So man, okay, so I want to ask a few more questions before we get cooking on here.
Yeah.
What is something that people may not know about you? One, as an artist, second, as a man, that you would be comfortable, that maybe first of all that they'll be surprised about, but you will be comfortable disclosing to folks who are already fans of Mick Jenkins.
As an artist, I don't know. I don't know what people would be surprised by. This one seems to surprise people all the time, especially because of a certain brand of fan that I have. Mm-hmm. But I listen to a lot of ignorant shit.
What are we talking about? What's the ignorant shit?
I would say, I won't even say listen. I would say I am heavily inspired by a lot of ignorant shit. I would say that. I think that was a conversation that I had with somebody, and he couldn't believe that I had said something about, like, revering Future, right? Yeah. I was just like, well, I mean, I don't revere his content. You know what I'm saying? Like,
look at all the ladies in here. It's like, get side eyes.
I don't champion what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? But what I literally said to him, I was like, but there's something to be said about somebody who can, same thing about Playboy Cardi. I'll put them in the same, Young Thug, same thing. This point I'll separate from, I'll leave this point to Future, but then I'll extend it and I'll bring in what I was talking about with Cardi and Thug. But this point is specific to Future. It is for somebody who can kind of capture the what is it, like the more salacious parts of culture as it pertains to speaking and vernacular and word choice. And I think So a lot of the things that Future has said ain't something since nobody else has talked about.
Right.
But Future gonna give you certain lines that only only Future would say that.
Right.
And like even like fuck her in her mouth and then kiss her. You feel me? Like when he was going crazy on that run, like and the way he said it, and it's like first there's that is that part of what things that are so outlandish that shouldn't be cool,
Right.
that shouldn't be popular. When you hear that, for it to be said a certain way that it is, I think there's something to be said about when you do that.
Right.
And then the second part is the melody. Because I think that's the thing, that's the champion, right? I think that's what, and then that's where I extended to Playboi Carti and Thug. I think Future uses that a lot. I extended to Playboi Carti and Thug because they've done it very successfully at a point. You can see it clearly. You don't even need to hear these niggas. There's a big part of Thug's work where you can't understand what he's saying, and that was a complaint in the hip hop sphere, especially in reviewing his music. Same thing with Playboi Carti. But it ain't stopping the show at all.
No.
And I think that is to say how powerful melody is.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at that and recognizing that is important. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, it doesn't matter where you get that lesson from. But it's looking at those artists that help me realize like, well, why I can't even understand this motherfucker. Why is it hitting so hard for certain people?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh, well, what is hitting? What can you understand? The melody. Well, damn. That must be really fucking powerful.
Mick got to utilize it a little bit.
Maybe I should start incorporating that. Like, clear. Hey, these niggas are talking straight bullshit, and over the track, the melody, and you can't even understand what they're saying sometimes.
Right.
Damn, that might be really important. You know,
something here.
but and again, let's leave that aside. Let's go back to Future. For Future, it's different, and how he uses that and the way he uses that. But it was something that I recognized. It's like, oh, that's what it is. That's where it is. That's where it's hitting. That's the most effective thing that's sticking with people that he's doing, even when you can't remember the words. Mm-hmm. And for me, that was a very transformative. Like I was still growing as an artist around the time when Future, when he dropped all them projects and then hit us with Dirty Sprite 2.
Right.
I was still growing when Thug was on his way up. I was still growing when Carti when Carti didn't exist, and then when he was somebody. Like I was still developing as an artist. Yeah. So these are all kinds of things that I was tapping into, listening to music. And I think a lot of times you make a certain type of music and people think you're only inspired by a certain type of music, or you only enjoy a certain type of music, and it's just like, I'm informed by all things, bro. Like truly. And I especially as a music artist, I don't just look at music for face value.
Yeah.
Even if I qualify it as bullshit, even if it's some bullshit, and that's usually content wise, you know what I'm saying? Even if the content is bullshit, a lot of the times if it's popular, there's something for you to discover. There's something for you to understand.
That's a good
that
point.
You can probably in some way, even if at 2, 3, 4, 5%, incorporate into what you're doing. To be better, to grow, to learn, to for possibility,
right? For
possibility's sake. I'm a rapidy rapper, but that ain't what y'all have heard from me my whole career. You know what I'm saying?
Your variety though.
On Horn, I'm on K Tronada and Disclosure albums when they both up for Grammys. I wasn't dropping.
Oh, Tyson, we got to celebrate you. You come on.
It was like 2 years ago, and I wasn't dropping, bars all over that site. I was making, making types of music. So it's just like, nah, man, I'm kind of tapped into it all, and I think it's always surprising when I do catch a fan who hears me say some shit, and it's like, what, you listen to that? I'm like, I mean, yeah, I'm not digesting it like my favorite music, but absolutely, I'm tapped into everything for the sake of. For learning, for progressing, and that music deserves that same respect as well, and I think people would be surprised by that.
I think it's funny how people will immediately kind of demonize and some of them have justified reasons because the content is just out of alignment, but the things that they'll enjoy about you, they'll be like, man, I like his flow on this one. I like sort of the patterns that he did on this one. What they don't recognize is how many different places and sources. Like I've talked to some of the best writers I know. One of the best writers I know, my homie, and he tells me how many times he's inspired by just like battle rap schemes that aren't even on a beat. Mm-hmm. And he's like, just it'll change and give him more options. I imagine when you're listening to if you can separate the content from the technique just for a second, just to appreciate what it is that people are gravitating to with a Young Thug, I can see that. I don't have to know the language to
It's
know.
the same fascination that I have with, I just started listening to Bruiser Wolf. You heard it?
Oh, yeah.
It's the same fascination that I have with Bruiser Wolf, who nobody talks like that. Inflection and, you know what I'm saying, the way you talking. You mean, like,
Yeah.
my wife is hating it.
Right.
But I was telling her, she was like, this is like sugar free. I was like, nah, it's really not. You just kind of relating it to the closest thing that you recognize.
It feel like it's in the same part of the tree.
Yeah, but it's really not. I was just like, I feel like maybe it is same part of the tree, but I was like, they're definitely very different. This nigga not really talking no pimp shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't, I'm not slick talking you, fast talking you. It kind of,
It's the line, the white should eat the same breakfast baking soda.
that's the type of shit he would say. You see? I love it. No, he said mix the
soda. This is a white girl doing hot yoga. We need flexibility to meet our quota. How did we get here?
That's what I said. Yeah, he said mix the bacon. Had something with the bacon soda.
Soda had the white girl doing hot yoga.
Doing hot yoga. We need flexibility to meet our quota. That's the bar. Right? So it's just like, to say we need flexibility to meet our quota. You took me to
A white girl doing hot yoga.
nah, I mixed the soda.
Oh, mix the soda.
That's
right.
Then we brought you to, we had the white girl doing hot yoga. What does that mean? I had to stretch it.
Yeah.
I had to stretch
Had
the
to stretch
word.
it, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Damn.
started with the baking soda, then we went to stretching,
Mhm.
then we went flexibility to meet our quota.
Flex.
So now what are we
Slow it
talking
down.
about?
Slow
So
it
now what are we talking? Are we
Right.
talking about drugs only? No, and I think shit like that is fascinating because, again, that's just one bar.
Yeah.
But when you structure an entire verse like that, now you're talking away.
Mm-hmm.
Every bar is kind of hidden latent. 4 bars in, I'm waiting for what you're about to say.
You set it up to
I'm-
you.
I'm-
You got me leaned in.
Ready for what you're about to say now. I mean, if you're into it, I'm excited for whatever you come next. And it's usually not coming straight forward.
Yeah.
It's usually coming from somewhere else that's
exciting, though.
Yeah. And so what I hear though, when I do that, what I was telling Shorty, I was like, I am going to incorporate the it'll be like,
You thought I was gonna go again, but I went.
like, and I do that already, but when I hear somebody so strikingly do that, I'm like, oh, I'm tapped in. Let me downloading. Okay, cool. And then next session, I'm trying to incorporate some of that into it I'm doing. And so it's the same way I'm doing that with him or anybody else lyrical. I'm doing that with, let's say, the bubblegum rap or the top 40 or whatever category you want to trap shit. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter. All of it has something to inform me with. You feel me? So,
Somebody said intelligent Coke bars are the gifts that keep giving. There's so many intelligent Coke bars out there.
Like I say, I will say, drug rap will never get old. Like it was. It's so fascinating to hear how many ways and how many metaphors we can break down the key with.
I thought there was no more other ways to describe how large a gun is than you just watch another rap battle and you like, nah.
That's a perfect example. That's
Right there.
gun bars.
Gun bars are never get old.
Gun bars. Limitless. Hearing new gun bars in battle rap is no longer fascinating to me anymore. It's just like, nah, they got them on tap.
I heard somebody mention a musket. I said, oh, we here now.
Yeah,
We here.
gun bars are forever in the clip, forever.
Speaking of which, you know, and like I said, we're gonna get into it. But what music is what music in general? It doesn't have to be folks who are making anything similar to what you're doing, but what music currently or what artists are got you excited about what's to come in this?
I love Chloe God. She's not a rapper. She's a singer. She do raps most of the time, no, but she's amazing.
Yeah.
Bill, I fuck with him. Homie. Well, not a homie. Like, he not my homie, but like homie vibes when I met him. You feel me? Really good dude. It's my DJ, Slime 64. That's his name. I'm really excited about our project. Our project is super dope, but I'm not excited about our project because of our project. I'm excited about our project because people will finally get to discover him. That's what I'm excited about. He's an amazing rapper. He's an amazing DJ. He's an amazing producer. He's like you. He got the whole setup. He has his own show. If y'all go look him up, he has his own show on YouTube where he interviews people, and it's just like he's waiting to be noticed.
Yeah.
Not literally in real life, like he's sitting around waiting, but I mean literally. When you discover him, there's a mess of things to discover, as opposed to discovering somebody and like, oh, I just went back and listened to all their albums. It's like you can go back and listen to all his albums. You can go back and listen to all his B tapes. You can go back and see all his interviews on the show. That's really cool. He makes his own video. I can't wait for that.
That's like somebody I got to connect with. I got to connect with him and see what's up.
Very dope. Yeah, and then let's see. Let me give you one more. Somebody that I really fuck with.
And I had one more question, just in general about where you see the game going, because I'm loving that. You know, shout out my guy Screw. Like Screw has always prioritized reacting to lyricists, but I'm seeing so many more channels where even if the people can't break it down, they're interested in breaking down lyricism after this battle, and that opens up the door to so many folks who have been doing it the whole time. Where do you? I mean, what? Unless you had that other artist before I get to last.
I was trying to think. I'll say this. I just been liking any male R&B that has a deep voice.
I think giving him.
Like I feel like that's something that's lack. I think the R&B neo soul blended. Like I don't know what to call you. Those people who sit in that lane. I think historically. I think where y'all at? Maybe I'm ignorant, but like, should put me on. I'll be looking for that. I don't see that, and a lot of the male voices that occupy that space are falsettos, which is not a bad thing. It's just it's not what I'm looking for. There's a certain quality of something that I'm looking for. There, if niggas put me on to that, I'd champion that. I'd say that's what I'm looking forward to. Hip hop. I'm just glad that I think the state of hip hop is in a situation where people like me as spitters feel galvanized to get back outside, feel to get active in a way that I ain't spent no time doing camera and working on my Instagram and trying to make sure I provide spaces for people to see. I haven't spent a lot of time doing what I'm doing and what I'm about to be doing for these last 10 years. And it is literally me trying to make sure that I have points of engagement with my fans, whether it's online, but especially offline. And I think a lot more people who don't really sit in that sphere, I think those kinds of things, classically, we, in our minds, no matter who's doing them or not, we reserve for like a mainstream artist or just the perception of it, not what's actually happening. And I think niggas are happy to tear that perception out. I even hear, yo, we got to link up more. We got to link up like the rap nigga, like the mainstream niggas link up. You know what I'm saying? We gotta. Yeah. I'm hearing rappers say things like that. It's like, oh, we gotta make it look a certain way because we link up, we sharpen swords. You know what I'm saying? We da. And the longer we let them niggas keep painting the image like this, those conversations are being had. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm mostly speaking to perspective here. But I'm excited that the perspective for real spitters and people who got something to say feels like it has a space to change. It feels like it has a space to shift into a more prominent role. And I'm excited to see that keep happening. You feel me? Well, as far as rap go. Yeah.
And and you already mentioned it, but you always got an ally over here, especially that's going to always make sure that it's just another outlet to have those conversations that a lot of, I think a lot of those outlets that kind of made a living off the toxic media, they're going to have to readjust because, I said the biggest threat to those that kind of, tear down the culture, the biggest threat is not when they get deplatformed, but when this becomes just as entertaining.
Yeah, facts. I said that about, and you said it's across the industry. I think people are doing things the right way with a certain type of respect, and it's coming from those who do it or have done it before. It just hits different. And I think it kind of reveals what others lack, even if that's not to knock what they do. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but you could never have this perspective. You even say there's certain angles on questions you could never think to ask. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and so I think, yeah, like you're right, and I'd love to see that continue to grow on the media side as well. So for sure, yes, sir.
So one thing I wanted to present to you too, and like I said, no pressure. You can give some thought to it, but I don't know if have you checked out the sort of the big link ups that we do up on Culture United.
I wanted to catch one. a few weeks ago. I think you told me about it when we was on the phone, or last week, but I missed it. And I was like, damn, I really wanted to see that one. So I've seen them, but I haven't got to catch one yet.
So the idea that I have, because, you know, we're branching off into like, now we have one called The Collective, where we're bringing a lot of the reaction channels, and, you know, there's a lot of people who are loving seeing these collaborations. I want to do one because of how many lyricists I know that's kind of like, it won't be called the Lyricist Lounge because that's obviously been somebody else's branding, but the idea of having some of the most elite lyricists in the room where we get to talk not just about lyricism, but about those conversations of like what you just said right now about Bruiser Wolf and the people that we may not even think are inspiring some of the greatest pens of this era. I want to create something like that and really just kind of like be the bridge between those conversations. And I know it's a heavy demand for it because I'm like, just hearing the idea of you in the same room as Daylight and Ab Soul, you know, my guy Stevie Crooks, and just all the folks that I know that are just like you're top tier in what you do. Man, I just think that'll be amazing. So just playing that seed.
Yeah, man, this is the kind of shit I like to do, honestly. Yeah. That's why we in here now.
Come on.
Talking at schools. I'm about to do my fuck, I forgot to do that. I need to put the flyers up. We might have to change the days, but I need to put a flyer up today for listening sessions I got this weekend.
Okay.
I'll probably have my wife do that while we driving back. I completely forgot, but that's the kind of stuff I like to do.
Yeah. It's names like yours that do something different for platforms like this. We gonna celebrate you because we love hip hop and because we love what you're doing, because you have one of the best pens of this era. Hands down.
Appreciate you, for real.
We're gonna always celebrate no matter what you release and whatever you got. But you coming to a platform like this, I think makes other artists of your tier say, I think I want to do a flowcation. So as much as you want to see media change, you made a big decision coming here today.
No, for real. I think
I appreciate
a big part of what I say to myself is like, I want to see media change, and it's gotten to a point where I'm like, man, what can I do?
Yeah.
Like what can, that's why I told you I'm just trying to do the little show, but I got a great footage, but at the same time it's just like, man, I can't be the one doing this. You know what I'm saying? So what can I do? This is type of shit, like showing up, like bringing that power to the smaller platforms, and you know, hoping to see them grow, collaborating so we can see them grow, and you know what I'm saying. Like I said, I hope you extend to a authority in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that niggas go to, because we need more people like you in this space. Like with your thought process, with your respect, with your honor, with your experience. You shut yourself, because it comes through. And I think that's why, you know, at least the 2-3 months that I've been following you, I've seen the growth on you in your shit. The way I don't know what you see on your end, but at least in the time that I follow you, I've seen growth. So
every day I wake up and this is more.
It's got to be other people recognizing the value in how you do what you do, just like I am. So
I've been learning.
I appreciate you,
man. I appreciate you. I've been learning not to question God on anything, because I made a goal this year. Anytime you see a hashtag, anytime you see the comments that they say RR, that's retire Rochelle. That is one of my goals, is to retire my mom this year. And by any means, I'm going to make that happen. I want it to be legal means, so keep on supporting this channel. I would prefer it to be legal means. But if it get tricky,
yeah.
You ever seen Set It Off?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means. You seen Dead Presidents?
No, Set It Off is it. Because I say it all the time. I be telling the homies, we have a little play or something. I be like, I need that money.
Look.
That's my favorite. Introduce.
At the risk of incriminating myself for younger decisions, I called the homie one time that I knew could set up something for me. And I'm not like, that's not me, but it was me that day.
Yeah.
Because I was like, shit is dire right now.
And the Lord came through for you.
The Lord came, no, because he let out the most like OG sigh I ever heard. He was like, what's really going on? Well, I appreciate him.
He said, look, Kurt, I don't want to put you in this position, but I know you wouldn't come to me unless you position.
That could have fucked up everything. If he did that, he could, but you know what he did? He said, did it happen to me? Yeah. Say that to you? Yeah.
That's why I said it. I hit, but you know what? The Lord is funny because he hit me for exactly what I needed too. Oh, I know a nigga, and I was like, I know I shouldn't call this nigga, but I'm down. Yeah. Yo, what you got going on? How this shit, you know, What you need me to do?
Mm-hmm.
Type shit. About an hour later, another play jump off, a legal play jump off for the same
amount. And God testing.
I was like, oh, my bad.
I have my hand in the cookie jar. You got me. You got.
So yeah, man, I already know how that go, man.
Look, the coldest part is he left me. He said, I ain't gonna get you into this, but there is this other thing going on.
Yeah, this is better. This is better suited for you.
No, he tried to set me up for some other shit that if I'd have did it, I probably would have been. He said, all right, there's a class action lawsuit against Slim Fast.
Oh my God.
Hey, niggas like, hey, it's number.
No, dead ass. If y'all ever see them joints, do it. I just got paid.
No, what? For real?
Yeah, because I did it because it was valid. It was like if you had used Cash App between 2014 and 2016, shit. This was like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I did it, and they said that it could take 2 years. Man, I just got a PayPal check thing for $152.
I think that applies to me. I was a user during that time period.
That was me. That was the thing. I thought I was never gonna get paid out. That's crazy. So if y'all see the class, hey, just put your name down for the class action, man. Just put your name down. 2 years later, you might get $42. Who knows? You know?
I feel stress and distress from what had happened, and I felt like this is the perfect time to get justice.
I have not been able to work with a clear head and focus. This plagues me every day and weighs heavy on my heart. I think those are the kind of
shit they do.
They were,
Yeah. Plague.
Yeah.
The stress and distress is what I have. The stress is for sure one of those. Man, round of applause for the guy, man. It's crazy. It's surreal. Any last words for the people? Anything that they need to get their attention to?
If you follow me, just know there's music dropping all year. There's the next project I can say is with this producer, Emil. He's amazing. Emil Kla, Kla on Instagram. Man, other than that, man, just support what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? I think in this sphere, y'all will continue to see this industry morph and change as people wake up. The time is up for the dumb shit.
Come on.
Say it again. There's not a new scheme that these niggas can run that they haven't run.
It's not looking too friendly out here for it either.
They can only continue to regurgitate versions of what they've already done.
Right.
But what can happen is that there's new creators, there's new artists, and there's people who exist already who are just getting smarter about how to do it. Please don't be shy about supporting people. Just show up and support people that you're actually fans of. And don't be shy about it. You know what I'm saying? We need to hear it. We need to see it. We need to feel it. And y'all will keep getting great art in return for it. So that's really all I got to say, man.
I told him already, bro. I said, y'all can make a decision to show up or not. I can't. I'm going to be here. Whether you do it, I'm going to be here. I'm not going nowhere. And I'm going to continue to highlight the geniuses of our era. So, man, I want to leave him with this song. I love this damn song, bro. This shit I played today. I heard it for the first time today. I kept playing this shit.
Trey, man.
Oh, my God. King Trey, practice. I'm going to end it off with this. Y'all have an amazing day. This content will stay up. I'm going to lead the stream up, and we're going to definitely chop everything down. So thank y'all so much for supporting. Definitely go pick up, type shit. The link is up there in the description and whatnot. Go subscribe. Also, where's your live streams at? What's the link?
I'm on Twitch, and it's Mick Jenkins on air. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I'm on Twitch. It's Mick Jenkins on air. I got like 2 or 3 hours before I'm affiliate. So I would say next week or anytime you tune in, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. PST. That's 8 p.m. on the East Coast. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Mick Jenkins on air on Twitch.
Okay. Please don't support that because then he's gonna stop showing his creative process. So actually don't subscribe. Just take that all back. You ain't never heard that on the show.
The trickle in effect.
Slowly.
That's a week. If y'all can manage it.
Let's get in Discord. Let's have a skit. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.